When I was reading this week a passage from Luke chapter 4, it was about healing, and it said at sunset, people brought to Jesus all who had various sorts of sickness, and laying on his hands on each one, he healed them. Now, oftentimes it's asked of pastors, and myself included, why are some people miraculously healed while others are not? Well, honestly, I can say I don't know the answer to that. It's just part of trusting God's plan that's bigger than ours. Something that's more complete than ours. Still, the concept of healing is a difficult one as a faithful follower of Jesus, but I wanted to understand more how God heals things, and I wanted to turn to another pastor and did some research on it, and came up with an article that was done by a British pastor. His name was Canon Andrew White. He's also known as the Vicar of Baghdad. He's been on the internet quite a bit. If you've ever seen him, he's a wonderful author as well. But he addressed the subject of healing one time. Now, White and his church witnessed a lot of miraculous healings over the years. And in spite of countless prayers seeking the healing of his own two children, they remained autistic. But White concluded that God always healed in some way. Now, I want you to listen to what Canon Andrew White said about 4 ways that God chooses to heal people. He says the body healed itself because of the way that God had designed the immune system to work within the context of the body. He said that God supernaturally healed in some ways that medical science couldn't explain. And in some ways, God used medical science for the healing process, such as putting maybe a broken leg into a cast, like by the aid of a doctor. In other words, God used the skills of a doctor to help the healing process. And in other cases, he used the twinkling of an eye method. Healing is in the twinkling of an eye was White's 4th way kind of healing, which refers to the new way of getting a new body. In other words, God took them home. Those are the ways that Jesus promised that Christ would heal some people. You see, once our bodies pass over, they're free from sickness, pain, and death. So you see, Pastor White came to the conclusion that God always healed in one way or another. So he answered our prayers, whether it would be yes, no, or not yet. And that's how we should actually approach healing in this world. Yes, no, or not yet. It's about God's timing, and it's about our faith in trusting Him with the results and how God chooses to bring about the healing in our lives. Now, I hope that I have brought about a little bit of comfort to some, and maybe a little bit of something to think about for some of the rest of you. Sometimes God chooses to heal on this side, and other times He chooses to take a person home to heal them because their body is just too far beyond. Either way, don't ever give up. Keep praying, because God still wants to hear our prayers, and God still heals either way.